Good afternoon and welcome to Print21, the weekly video news bulletin for the Australian and New Zealand print industries. From Print21, this week's bulletin is sponsored by Spices, creating solutions together. Our news this week is led by the new legal ruling that will enable the nation's 6,500 clubs, one of which I'm standing in front of now, to be allowed to communicate their AGM and other notices with their 15 million members through digital channels only, a move which axes a significant swathe of regular print work. The new ruling, brought in under the guise of COVID, has been something that clubs have been lobbying for some time, because it'll save them a heap of cash, obviously. It initially lasts until April next year, but the clubs are confident that it will be made permanent once that date comes. Until now, the clubs have been required to communicate AGM and other notices with their members, 15 million of them, on paper through the mail. But despite them having a disproportionate number of elderly members and non-tech savvy amongst their ranks, they have won the right to dump print as a required means of communication. For printers around the country, the move away from print communication from clubs will be a blow. The big clubs tend to buy their print through one of the specialist brokers, who then place it with one of the major print businesses. However, smaller clubs and those in the regional and rural areas, they tend to use the local printers. And that work is now gone and now won't be coming back. Effectively meaning print has lost regular work from 6,500 customers. Not the best news of the week. The new laws allow clubs to send notices to members by email or text, even when they have not consented to it. The email would include an attachment, the text, a hyperlink. If members have not given a digital address, and many of them won't have, they'll receive a postcard advising them how to access the notice online. COVID continues to rampage. In New South Wales, cases are heading towards 1,000 a day, with a handful of deaths. New South Wales, Canberra and Victoria are now all in lockdown, or Melbourne actually I should say. Printers can still print providing they're adhering to the COVID safe protocols. If you're unsure what they are, go to print21.com.au and follow the links and you'll find everything you need to know there. In the latest edict from the Victorian government, all staff travelling to work at print businesses and all businesses throughout Melbourne must have authorised travel permit with matching photo ID or face huge fines. Print businesses can download the official form from the Victoria Department of Justice by going to the print21.com.au website and following the links. It's the employer's responsibility to issue the permit. The permit is not permitted to be used for any other activities except going to and from work. The Victorian government has set eye-watering levels of fines for non-compliance. Staff travelling to work who do not have a permit and matching photo ID from today will face on-the-spot fines of $1,650. For individuals, $9,900 for businesses. If the permit is falsified in any way or carrying any false information, the penalty is up to $20,000 for the worker, for the business up to $99,000. The New Zealand print industry has had to close with print that is directly necessary for essential supply chain, the only exception, as the country enters level 4 lockdown again. There are now 5 cases in the whole country. Auckland and Coromandel are in 7-day lockdowns, the rest of the country in a 3-day lockdown, initially at least. Support's available for those printers in the 7-day areas of Auckland and Coromandel. Employers Association Print New Zealand said only businesses providing essential services can continue to operate. At this point, if you are unsure if you are providing an essential service, then you should probably not be open. If you are part of the supply chain for essential services, then you're able to continue to operate, but only for all those particular print jobs. Printers do remain open, says Print Editor, highlighting that it's got to be for printing that. You can't print COVID work one day, essential work, and then non-essential at the same time. And of course, that may mean reduced hours. Let's have some good news. Eckersley Print Group, well-known to New Zealand, Queensland printer celebrating 50 years in business, has a series of events marking its achievements and evolution to become one of the leading print operations in Queensland. It was founded actually in 1971 by James Eckersley, and today Tom Eckersley is Managing Director and Leah Eckersley Sales and Marketing Director. Congratulations to all there. Also celebrating is the Penrith Print Museum. 20 years of blood, sweat and toil is being celebrated by the Penrith Museum Australia's largest working print museum, giving credit to the loyal band of print engineers, former letterpress printers and linotype operators who over the years have lovingly restored and spent a lot of time restoring an impressive range of equipment, creating Australia's largest working print museum. That's it for this week's issue of Play Print21. Go to print21.com.au for all these stories and more. Thanks to our sponsor Spices, creating solutions together. This is me, Wayne Robinson, signing off for another week.